Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy, the GUIDO, and I just want to say thank you so much for stopping by the YouTube page today. I really appreciate it. I know you could be anywhere doing anything, but the fact that you're here right now, it means a lot. So thank you so much for that. Today's video is going to be really cool. Now, one of the things that we do in our videos are we like to have conversations with people from inside of a GTA 5 roleplay server that I'm a part of called the Academy. And we just kind of get to know people that have characters in the city. We interact with them, we see them on stream, but who are they really? And that's where these interviews come in. This time we actually had a really cool interview with one of the Academy streamers. His name's Deputy Smitty. Man, we had a really cool conversation. I really love talking about his streaming, how he got into the community. We talked a little bit about TikTok and how he has found a measure of success there. It's just a really cool conversation. And another thing I really loved about this conversation is he's a fellow South Carolina Gamecock fan. There's not a whole lot of us out there, and so when we find each other, it's just a good time. So that's what this conversation was. Definitely a good time. I know you're gonna love it. I can't wait to show it to you. Before I do that though, if you're interested in GTA 5 roleplay, or maybe you're just looking for a community to connect with, I want to invite you to come hang out with us at the Academy. There's a link that just popped up right here. I'd love for you to go read all about the mission and vision of bridging the gap. I'd love for you to find out more about Officer Messer. He's the one that started this thing. I just want you to really find out more about what the Academy is, and I want to also invite you to come and be a part of it with us. I know that you'll love it. I promise you won't regret it, and we'd absolutely love to have you be a part of the community with us. Also, while you're here, why don't you go ahead and hit that thumbs up button? Let me know what you think about the video. Leave me a comment, leave me an emoji. Just let me know you stopped by, and if you really want to, I'd love it if you hit the subscribe button as well. All right? Well, that's enough of me. I'm ready for you to get to see this conversation I had with Deputy Smitty. I know you're going to love it. Thank you again for being here. Here's the video. Smitty, what's up, my guy? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. What's up?
Nothing much. Just a little nervous, that's all.
No, man, don't be nervous. This is going to go good. This is going to go well. I'm excited about you being here. Let me just start this off right and say, go Gamecocks.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we have a lot to be excited about as Gamecock fans right now with the way we ended the season. It looked questionable there for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, mid-season, I'm sitting there looking at the schedule, wondering, okay, how do we get to 6 to get a bowl? And then next thing you know, we start reeling off big wins, and I'm storming the field in Carolina. I'm tearing the bushes up with everybody else.
Yeah.
And so it's been a great way to end the season.
Yeah.
With one to go.
No, it was absolutely phenomenal, and man, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. I know that you go to all the home games and you get to see all of those moments live, and I get to enjoy them from the comfort of my home. So there's that.
Absolutely.
Well, very cool, man. Well, thank you so much for jumping in. I appreciate it so much. I've wanted for us to be able to get an opportunity to get together and chat a little bit. I am a fan of Deputy Smitty, and so I always enjoy checking out your streams and those kind of things, and you're always a big supporter in the stream team, and we'll talk about all of that here in just a minute. But let's just start here, man. Give us some information. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and what you do, and we'll go from there.
Oh, well, I'm Deputy Smitty. Cameron Smith is my name. I'm Spartanburg, South Carolina. I'm 32 years old. Got a family, wife, kids, and former high school football coach.
Nice.
And I got into law enforcement. It's something I've always wanted to do. I don't really know why. I just remember whenever I was younger about being a cop, and it just kind of stuck with me. And so as I was in high school, or as I was coaching high school football, it was still in my head as far as wanting to do it. And then so I just finally gave it a shot. Started talking to their SRO at the school that I was working at, and he was like, well, my best friend's the guy that does the hiring. So you just let me know. And so that's basically how it went. I let him know, and they put me on through, and 5 years later, I'm still doing it. So
very cool, man. Awesome.
yeah.
So I was going to say it's a big transition. I don't know if it's a big transition or not. What is that transition like, going from coaching football to being a deputy? What's that transition like?
I mean, it wasn't too difficult, honestly. I mean, it's just, I don't know. And I kind of make jokes about it. I mean, on the good side, because the school I was working at is the alternative school.
Okay.
So, I dealt with a lot of problems whenever I worked there as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I said, it wasn't a very hard transition for me because I already had a little bit of experience, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, just interacting with people and dealing with people, and so I know it's younger people. Most time when you're on the street, you're dealing with older people. But
Sure.
it wasn't a big transition for me.
Yeah, that's really cool, man.
Yeah.
So high school football coach. Go back to that just for a minute. Now, did you play football coming up, like in school, or what kind of got you into that?
Yeah, I played basketball, baseball, football up until 9th grade, and I stuck with basketball and football. Biggest mistake of my life. I was good at those sports. I'm not trying to pump my own chest, but I was great at baseball. And I got burnt out on it, got worn out on it. You're playing tournaments every single weekend, 24/7, for the most part, whenever you're not playing basketball or football. And I got burnt out and I quit, and biggest mistake of my life. But it is what it is. And but yeah, I played high school football, as a wide receiver, played basketball. I was small forward and shooting guard.
Okay.
And had a lot of fun with it. And I always knew I wanted to coach football. And so I got into it. And a local high school here at Spartanburg High School gave me a shot. And then I stayed there a couple years, and it was great. I won a state championship in 2014, so that was a great experience. And I just ended up just getting into the law enforcement life.
And you're a big sports guy. If anybody has ever seen your TikTok, you're a big sports guy, right? So all Carolina teams too.
Yeah. So I'm a Carolina Gamecock, and I'm a Carolina Panthers. Growing up, actually, though, whenever I was younger, I was a huge Steve McNair and Eddie George fan, and they of course played with the Tennessee Titans. I was a huge fan. When I played Little League football, my team was the Titans. I was quarterback at the time. I wore number 9 for Steve McNair. I was big time fans of them. Once they retired or got older in age, and then as I got a little bit older, I was like, I kind of wanted to go with the hometown route, so they're closer. They're always on TV and stuff like that. And so once Steve and Eddie kind of moved on, I was like, and I always liked the Panthers whenever I was liking the Titans as well. But, once you get a little bit older, I was like, I'm a Carolina Panther fan. It's kind of the same thing too. When I was younger, my dad grew up a big Miami Hurricane fan.
Okay.
And so during the younger years, I mean, Miami was dominant. And so that's whenever I was liking them and stuff. And I still like to see them do well. But again, closer team, home team, I'm a Gamecock through and through. So that's it, man. I got to pull for the home teams. I just do. I can go to the games easy. They're always on TV, and it just feels right.
No, I hear that. I'm a Georgia. I know that you grew up in South Carolina. I grew up in Georgia. I migrated to Carolina. I've got a whole story for that for another time. But I'm a Falcons fan, and it's tough. It's tough being a Falcons fan. And to be honest, I'm still heartbroken from our Super Bowl loss. And so even to this day, I have a difficult time.
Look, we have 2 Super Bowl losses that I'm still heartbroken. I was 13 years old on the first one, and I can remember it like it was yesterday. Because me and my buddy, we would go to, training camp is in Spartanburg for the Panthers.
Okay. All right.
And it was, 10 minutes less for me to drive there. So me and my buddy every day would have our parents drop us off there. And that was back in the day when the NFL had 2 practices a day. So you're talking, I was out there at 7 a.m. We would leave and go grab lunch after practice, and then back out there at 3 p.m. every day in the summertime for training camp.
That's awesome.
And so when they lost that Super Bowl that year, I was hurt. And then once again, I was actually telling somebody the other day, when the Panthers lost in 2015, as a grown man, I thought I was going to sit there and bawl my eyes out. Like, I thought I was going to cry my eyes out. I was hurt. I was hurt bad.
I get it.
we were so dominant that year. We lost one regular season game, which is kind of unheard of in the NFL.
Right.
And then we steamroll through the playoffs, and then here comes the Super Bowl, and we just laid an egg, man. And as a grown man, I thought I was gonna sit there and cry.
Yeah. No, I get it. I totally get it. When Atlanta lost, we were in Boston a couple months later.
Mm-hmm.
They found out we were from Georgia. It was rough.
Yeah, that's rough.
It was rough.
Rough.
It only solidified my disdain for teams from Boston even more so. So,
yeah.
Anywho, all right. Speaking of games, so obviously you're a sports fan. We know you because of a video game. Are you a gamer? Are you into video games at all? I mean, obviously some, but like overall.
Yeah, I'm not like huge in it. I'm not huge in like competitive games and trying to grind something out and all that. Well, I grew up on sports games as far as like Madden and college football and things like that. And then I got into high school. I got into Call of Duty 4. That's by far my favorite Call of Duty ever.
Nice.
Got in trouble many a times for skipping school to go home and play. I mean, I would drive to school, kind of check in, and I was out, and I was going back home.
Shout out.
And so that's really it. I've never, like I said, I'm not like grinding games and trying to advance and all this other stuff. And so, I like to play, but it's not, competitive, I guess, and stuff like that.
So now, I'm not sure if you're watching the stream. I know you said you might look at it some. Bobby Ray Gray just kind of called you out a little bit. He said you got a Pac-Man behind you, and you tried to say you're not a gamer. You must be a big Pac-Man fan.
Well, no.
Okay.
So we went to Disney last year after Christmas. The week after Christmas, we went to Disney, and then the last night down there was like our break or whatever. We didn't have a day in the park, and so we just kind of hung around the pool, went and did shopping and stuff, and then we went to the game room that night, and there was a Pac-Man game. For some reason, my daughter played it about 10 times, and so we get home. We're at a store. Probably 2 days later, we see a Pac-Man game, and she just suckered me into buying it right then and there.
There you go.
I'll always play it. I loved it down there. Well, that thing's been turned on probably twice, and it just sits there and collects dust.
Nice.
So that's the backstory on that.
Yeah.
But it looks cool. Good. I don't know.
No, it does look good. It's a great back piece for your camera there. So it's good. All right, very cool. So let's. Are you into Christmas movies? It's Christmas season. Are you into Christmas movies? Are you a Christmas movie guy?
I'm a very basic Christmas movie guy.
Okay.
I'm not a movie person overall. If you don't catch my attention within 10 minutes max, and when I say catch my attention, I'm talking I almost got to be in tears laughing for the most part.
Okay.
If you don't catch my attention, I'm out. I'm like, this is boring. I'm out.
Yeah. Now, do you have a short attention span in general? Like, do you have a hard time focusing?
Yeah, I may even ask you to repeat yourself. I have a very short attention span. I don't pay attention. It's just is what it is. It goes through one ear and out the other. And so if I ask you to repeat yourself, don't be surprised.
No, I got you. And I only ask that because I don't know if I have a short attention span, but I have bad listening skills because somebody will be talking and I'm thinking about something else, and then I'll be like, what did they say?
I'm so bad at that. Somebody will be talking, and I'm serious. I'll be over here thinking about how Spencer Rattler threw 6 touchdowns versus Tennessee. I mean, like, that's just me.
Yeah,
I can't help it.
Yeah. I've been in conversations before. Somebody would tell me something, and I'd walk away, and my wife Christy, she'd say, "Do you know what they just said?" I said, "I have no idea." She said, "They just said that somebody died," and you said, "Well, that's great." And I'm like, I didn't mean it like that. I have no idea what they said. So I understand that.
That's me 100%.
All right. So if you need to ask me to repeat the question, I've got no problem doing that. But we're going to play a game. We kind of played this game when we did our interview with Chris Engel, but we did it a little bit different. I had him rate movies and say if they were good, great. What we're going to do is we're going to play a game, and I'm going to have you rank movies from a scale of 1 to 10. Okay. All right. So you're going to rank these movies from a scale of 1 to 10. Now, here's the deal. We've got to put only one in every category. And there's 3 that aren't going to make the list. So we have 10 spots and only 13 movies. And we can move them around as I call them out, okay?
Okay.
All right. So we've got to put one in every spot. 3 won't make the list, and you can move them around as we need to. All right?
Okay.
All right. So here we go. Let's start here. Let's just start with one that I feel confident, to me, is a classic, which is painful for me to say. I realize today this movie's been out 30 years, which is painful for me to say. Home Alone. Home Alone.
That's number 1.
Number 1. Okay.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
number 1.
All right. So we're going to put Home Alone here. Uh-oh.
And if I don't know it, I'm going to have to rank it low. So chat's going to bust me on this. I know they are.
Yeah. Why did that do that? Okay.
Yeah, they're going to bust me on this.
Okay. We did that. And then we're going to send it back. Okay. There we go. All right. All right. So Home Alone's number 1. I like that. All right. Number 2. I'm just going to do these randomly. How about like a classic, like Miracle on 34th Street? Have you ever seen Miracle on 34th Street?
There's a lot of them I've seen bits
Okay.
and pieces.
All right. Now, you can put it somewhere, and then we could move it later.
Okay. So since I've only seen bits, let's just, let's put it like 8. Put it on the list.
All right. So we're going to say Miracle on 34th Street is number 8. Okay. I like this one. All right. How about The Grinch? Now, what's here is the Jim Carrey Grinch. I'm totally fine if, like, you love the cartoon version and it's really high. Any version of the Grinch that you like, I'm fine with.
Let's go number 5.
Okay. All right. I don't hate that as a choice. I don't hate that as a choice. Number 5 for the Grinch. All right. Elf. That's probably a new classic movie, Elf. Now let me just ask this just before you answer. How many times have you seen Elf? Just, I mean, 10. Hold on. You've seen Elf 1 time?
What?
Okay. All right. So Elf did not get your attention. All right. All right. I like it. So where would you rank Elf in this list?
A 7.
Okay.
My list is going to be so bad. They're going to get all over me for this.
No. This is your list. This is your list. You be proud of your list. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. So there's Elf, number 7. What about Christmas with the Cranks?
Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah, Christmas with the Cranks.
Trying to think of some other movies that you would potentially have on there. Let's go. I may move it, but let's go 6.
Okay. All right. All right. So we'll do. We'll put it 6. We'll put it right here so we can kind of see it right there. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh wait, that was Christmas Story. I moved the wrong movie. Christmas with the Cranks, number 6. All right, Christmas Story. So Christmas Story. Now, for the record, this is my all-time favorite Christmas movie. Are you familiar with this one?
No, I'm not actually.
Not at all. The one where the kid wants the BB gun and wants to shoot your eye out.
No, but when you said not at all, if I heard the pain in your voice.
It was painful. But I'll accept it. I'll accept it. So do we want to leave it off the list right now since we hadn't seen it yet?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I don't even know if I've heard of it. Well,
okay, all right.
Who's in it?
So it's Peter Billingsley is the main character. They actually just did a number 2. Well, it's not the Christmas Story 2. There's a Christmas Story 2. This is the Christmas Story. And it's out. It just came out in November. It's pretty good, actually.
Chat's killing me. Chat's killing me. I'm looking. They're killing me.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. This is an easy breezy one. National Lampoon's Vacation. Now, surely you've seen National Lampoon's Vacation.
We're gonna go 3.
Number 3. Okay.
Yeah, we're with 3.
All right. I like that. Let's see. Okay. All right. Now this is, I was going to wait on this one, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in. This is a controversial Christmas movie. I put it in the list because I consider it to be a Christmas movie. There are some that don't, but I'm the one that made up the game. So I'm going to say it's a Christmas movie. Where would you rank Die Hard? Where would you rank Die Hard?
Let's go 10 because it's not a Christmas movie.
Okay. So you're saying not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, not a Christmas movie.
All right. That's painful, but I hear you. And I respect it. It's your list. And so you can make the list whatever you want to make it. Jingle All the Way. Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way is definitely number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my Turbo Man.
That movie gets slept on so much. I'm so glad that you ranked it really high.
So much. I love Jingle All the Way. I can watch that one. I don't know why, because my attention span is kind of low, and it ain't like it starts out hilariously funny, but I don't know. It's just been a classic for me. I love it. You know, it's great.
Okay. All right. No, I agree. I appreciate that you ranked it really high. It would not be 2 for me, but it's going to be up there. It's going to be a top level Christmas movie. So yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. What about the Santa Claus? So the original Santa Claus that kicked off everything.
What do we have at number 3?
Right now we have National Lampoon's Vacation.
Yeah, we need to drop that down and put Santa Claus at 3.
Okay. Where do you want to put? You want to go to 4 for Lampoon's Vacation? Okay.
Yeah, we can go to 4 over that, and we'll go. So I love Santa Claus.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna. Okay. So that's fine. Okay. All right. So there we go. What about Polar Express?
Polar Express, number 9.
Okay. All right. All right. I like that. Now we got 3 left, but technically number 10 or Christmas Story we hadn't seen, so we left it off the list. What about A Wonderful Life? It's a Wonderful Life, another classic Christmas movie.
So that's like a really classic one.
Yeah, it's an old one. It's A Wonderful Life. Now, to help you out here, Smitty, I have never seen this movie either.
Me either.
I've never seen it. So we can leave it off the list.
Okay. I've never seen it. I thought you was going to get me on that.
No, I have never seen it either.
Okay. Perfect. I don't think I said that.
Yeah. And then the last one, it's really more nostalgic for me. I don't know if people would consider it a Christmas movie or not, but it's the Christmas or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the animation movie. It's like the CBS movie. It's the elf that wants to be a dentist. Have you ever seen that before?
Oh yes. That's got to be somewhere. That's got to be somewhere around the 6 range because that's actually really good.
Okay. All right.
That's actually really good. It's a classic.
We currently have Christmas with the Cranks at 6. Do we want to move it?
I think we just knock everything down one.
Okay. So Die Hard's coming off.
Yeah, it's coming off.
Polar Express is going to 10. It's a Wonderful, or Miracle on 34th Street is going to 9. Elf is going to 8. Christmas with the Cranks is going to 7. And then the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is going to 6.
Perfect.
All right, so here's your list. You ready?
Yeah.
Let me know if you feel good about this. Starting at number 10, Polar Express. Number 9, Miracle on 34th Street. Number 8, Elf. Number 7, Christmas with the Cranks. Number 6, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Number 5, The Grinch. Number 4, National Lampoon's Vacation. Number 3, The Santa Claus. Number 2, Jingle All the Way. And coming in, number 1, strong, Home Alone. You feel good about that?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make an argument about putting Rudolph ahead of the Grinch, that's absolutely an argument to be made. It doesn't necessarily have to be made, but
okay,
that's definitely an argument there.
All right, so we're thinking that really the Grinch and Rudolph could be 5 or 6. They could flip flop either way.
Yeah,
I like it.
absolutely.
I like
Rudolph is a classic. It's kind of like, you just like kind of look forward to it coming on every year. I don't know. It's just one of those deals.
Yeah. No, I get it. All right. Well, that's your list, and we'll lock it in and we'll call it done. Good job. All right. So real talk. We won't tell anybody. Nobody's on here right now.
Okay.
How many of those movies have you really seen, like 100%? Because I know you said you're not a big movie guy.
4, maybe.
Okay, so 4. So 4 of the movies, classic Christmas movies. You've only seen those. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. I like it. I respect it.
And I don't know why, because I'm a huge Christmas person, like huge. I love it. I want to decorate on November the 1st.
Okay.
But it just goes back to that attention span, you sit down to watch something, and then next thing you know, I end up on TikTok or Twitter, and whatever it may be, so
Yeah, I got you. I
don't know, I just can't stay focused long enough.
Okay.
I need to be in tears right away to keep me, I don't know why. I got
you. I got you. Okay. So you would love it here. My wife likes to decorate. She wants to start decorating in October.
Oh, yeah, you should let her.
I like being married and I like being happy, so I do. This year she put up our tree, not all of our decorations, but she put up our tree the week before Halloween this year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't know that I think it's awesome.
That's definitely awesome. Did y'all decorate outside too?
So not until, actually, we didn't put anything outside until today, but inside has been off the chain for months.
Well, that's great. I would have even went as far as putting everything outside and then having your light on for Halloween so everybody can walk up and maybe ask questions about what's going on here.
I told Christy that we were creating seasonal confusion in kids that were coming to our door to get for candy for trick or treat, and they saw our tree right behind us.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. I'm a huge Christmas person. I have 3 trees in my house. I have the whole inside decorated, outside decorated. So I love it. I love it.
I will say this. Let me just point out something. I'm watching the chat. They are absolutely going bonkers about your Christmas list and the fact that you haven't seen some of these movies. There's some outrage in the chat. I just want to bring that up.
Yeah, I'm fully prepared for Discord to be wild after this. So, I'm gonna take a lot of heat, but it'll be okay.
No, it's gonna be great, man. All right, hey, let's talk about TARP a little bit. So obviously we're here because we're both involved in TARP. You're on the stream team for TARP. But it all started somewhere for you. So kind of give us the origin story, man. How did you find out about the community? How did you get involved and get connected?
So I used to go, it was on my old TikTok, not the one that I currently use now, but I would go live. Like if I was on a side job or something like that, sitting in my police car in uniform, I would be bored. Because all you do, you're just sitting there for a police presence. That's it. And you get bored. So I would go live on TikTok. And the first time I did it, I was like, expecting 10, 15 people in there. We'll just chat for a moment and I'd get off. Come to find out, when you go live in uniform in a police car, there's thousands of people that show up. And so the comments are just going crazy. And I was actually, we was talking about gaming, talking about Twitch and this, that, and another.
Yeah.
And then I started getting a lot of comments like, have you ever been in RP? RP, I'm like, what do you mean, GTA RP? What is that? I had no idea what it was. Because at the time I was playing Warzone. And so people was trying to explain to me, the best way they can in TikTok comments what GTRP was. And I was clueless. I had to YouTube it afterwards. Like, what is GTRP? And then a couple people started mentioning Officer Messer. And so I've never, I didn't know who Messer was at the time. And then I had a lot of messages after I got through my live, sending me Messer's TikToks like, this is who it is and stuff. And at the time, I think Messer had maybe 100,000 followers.
Okay.
And so I started following him and started looking into all what was going on. And then I had more people messaging me about the academy and the server and stuff like that. And so I was like, well, I'll look into it because Warzone was getting boring at the time and stuff. And so I was like, I'll look into it. Something different.
Sure.
So I applied for TARP, and the guy, I wish I knew who it was, but I honestly have no idea. But the guy who introduced me to TARP, it was like, message me after you apply or after you hear something back. So I messaged him after I got something back. I was like, hey, bro, I was denied. I can't get in the city. Like, I'm sure, I bet if I go back and look at my application, I'm sure it was the worst application of all time because I didn't know what to put. I'm like, what is this just talking about? Do I talk like I'm a character or what?
Yeah.
And so he was like, don't worry about it. I think at the time you had to wait 3 or 4 days to reapply. So he's like, just wait, reapply. So I did, and I got in. And it just kind of went from there, and that's kind of how it started.
Nice, man. Very cool. Very cool. So you get in and you don't know anything about RP. Now, have you played GTA at all, or are you familiar with that at all?
Way back in the day, years ago, I played GTA. I actually had it downloaded on my computer because I thought whenever I got in streaming, I would probably play it, but played it 1 time or 2 times. I was like, oh, that's not really that fun. So I just stuck with Warzone.
Yeah.
So other than that time, it's been years since I had played GTA.
I remember playing GTA at a buddy of mine's house, the very first one, and it was all blocks, and you would drive up, and I played that Joker for hours and hours. I love that game. But I was like you, man. I didn't know anything about RP. I was scrolling around on TikTok, same thing. You know, found him and it's like, this sounds cool. I want to do that. And that's how I jumped in. And so you get in, you don't know anything about RP. Tell me about that. Like, tell me about trying to figure out all the stuff.
It was terrible. I didn't know how to make any money. I didn't know how to get any guns. I literally just ran around the city. Luckily I had, so during one of those TikTok lives I was in, Big Eyes, who's he's big in my community.
Okay.
He found me and followed me on Twitch, and then anyway, we just connected ever since then. So he joined the city as well.
Okay.
And then my nephew was like, I was talking to him about it. He was like, he's like, yeah, I've heard about it before. He's like, let's try to do it. So he come in. So it was the 3 stooges of us running around.
Okay.
Didn't know what we were doing. We was by far the worst criminals ever. I mean, we just run around, literally running our mouth to anybody, in a good way, but just running our mouth to anybody, picking fights.
Yeah.
And every single time in the city, it was Josh Willard that would arrest us within 20 minutes. Every single time. I mean, we would pull out of a parking lot and we'd see Willard and we'd give it 3 seconds and he'd light us up for some reason. You're passing, the yellow line in the middle of the road. Like, I mean, it was anything. Willard locked us up every single time. So we was terrible criminals, and it was hard to kind of. I had no idea what to do. I mean, I had no idea, and so I think I've learned a little bit. I'm still mediocre at it, but at least I have me a cop character now that at least I can just use IRL experience and do halfway decent at.
Yeah. I think there's 2 parts to that when you're learning. At least it was for me. Like you have to learn like basic game mechanics, how to walk, because not only had I never played GTA, but I'd never played with a keyboard and mouse either. I'd only ever played with a controller. And I know you can do that, but like trying to figure out how to walk, and I spent the first 3 times I ever flew in a far corner just walking around, like just practicing walking because I didn't know how to do anything.
Yeah, I play with a controller, but yeah, as far as there's a lot of stuff that goes on the keyboard and stuff, and even now, I mean, you'll see me now if you watch any of my streams. Even now, I'm sitting there like, chat, how do I do this? How do I do that? I mean, it's just there's a lot to it. So that's why I'm impressed whenever somebody gets into the city. Like there's a character now, Donnie, and he's in my community, and he hasn't been in very long, and he'd never done RP before, but he's so good. People get him confused with Hammer.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do y'all do that? I mean, how? But it just comes natural. It doesn't come natural to me. I promise you that.
And that's the other side. So not only do you have to learn game mechanics, but you have to learn RP. And and for me, I learned how to play the game while I was learning how to RP because like you, I'd never done that before. So I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know. I just knew that I couldn't not be my character. And I didn't even know what that meant.
I didn't either. I was lost. I mean, I was lost. I was running around. I had my real name on my first character. He was my real name. I think he wore a white t-shirt, blue jeans. It was a bald-headed dude and just walked around with my name, my real voice. I had no idea what I was doing. Literally,
Yeah.
no idea.
That's the default guy. That's the default character.
That's what it is. I mean, it was awful, man. God, it was awful.
That's fun. All right.
Yeah.
So you're in there, you're figuring out stuff, you get into the streaming side of that. What kind of got you into that? I know you were doing the TikTok lives. Were you streaming and stuff before GTA? Did that kind of get you into streaming? What kind of got you into that part of it?
Yeah, I was already streaming before I got into the city. But it was just Warzone. That's all it was Warzone. And so, yeah, I was streaming, and then back then it was a lot easier to be a content creator in TARP.
Yeah.
And so when I got in, they kind of approved me right away, and I just I just was still streaming and stuff like that. And so yeah, but I mean, like I said, it was just Warzone before that, and I was looking for a change up. And then once people started telling me on TikTok about Messer and stuff, I started watching him a little bit. I was like, yeah, I want to get in on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was back then when the max you could have in the city was like 64 people.
Right.
And so it's a jam-packed night. When you look on there, there's like 35 people in. You're like, oh yeah, there's a lot of people. Let's go.
Yeah.
And it's crazy now because you look on there, there's like 130, 150. It's wild.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And the growth that the community has seen recently is crazy, because I'm like you. I remember jumping in and it being, 20 people. I remember jumping in and there'd be 30 people. If there were 60 people, I remember watching Messer talk about how the city was maintaining 60 people on a consecutive basis. And they were like, man, this is really cool. This is really exciting. Now, man, it's just, to see the growth, and, and I think, I think Messer is a part of that, but I think also, I know from talking to some of our admin is that your success in streaming has kind of brought a lot of people into the community. You've opened up a lot of eyes to the academy and to TARP. Talk about that a little bit, because you really have found a groove in streaming.
Yeah. So I can just kind of break down how it all happened. Up until August of this year, I maybe was averaging, I don't know, less than 10 viewers.
Yeah.
And I'll just say the whole breakdown. I was gonna have like a birthday stream it was August the 4th, because I couldn't stream on my birthday on the 5th. And so on the 4th, I was gonna have a birthday stream. And I remember that day was jam packed with stuff. I had to stay over for work because I had to do stuff. It was a mess that day. And so I was like, well, whatever, that's at the time I didn't have a schedule or nothing. So I was like, well, I'm just going to take the night off. It's not, it is what it is. And then all of a sudden my Discord, which was kind of rare at the time, because my Discord probably, I don't know, it wasn't very big. I don't know how many members, but it wasn't very big. And I started having people in Discord like, where you at? Where you at? I thought you were streaming. And I was like, wow, like I didn't think they would even care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then my nephew was like, he texted me. He was like, man, you lying to us. Where you at? And I was like, okay, well, let me go up here and do it. By this time, it's 10:30 at night. My stream, I would stream either from 5 to 7 or from like 7 to 9.
Sure.
So 10:30, I'm like, man, it's gonna be late. I'm gonna be tired tomorrow at work, but let's go do it. And then, boom, that was the kicker. My TikTok live went crazy that night. That was the biggest stream I've ever had without a raid. Yeah. It was just wild. I mean, it was crazy. And so I was like, I might have found something. And so ever since then, man, I go live at, no sooner than 9:45. It's 9:45, 10 o'clock. And it's just, I don't know what it is with the late night streams. It does best for my TikTok, and which obviously drives people to Twitch. And
Sure.
it's been a success ever since. I don't really know, I just kind of found what worked best for me. And I had to sacrifice something. People ask me all the time, how did you do it? Or how did you do this? And I tell them, you got to sacrifice something. More than likely, some people don't, but more than likely you're gonna have to sacrifice. And I sacrifice sleep. There's sometimes I don't go to bed until 3:30, and I'm up at 6:30 or 6:15 getting ready for work.
Right.
It's not easy and it's not fun a lot of times, but it's helped my success. So I'm gonna keep rolling with it, and I'm very appreciative of where I'm at right now. And so, And yeah, and looking back too, I think in August, somebody can maybe correct me, but in August, I think TARP had around 1,300 members. And with my success, along with everybody else's success, I mean, now we're pushing 2,300 members.
Right.
And so it's kind of wild to see where we're at now.
Yeah, that's really awesome, man. I think, you know, and you're going to be able to speak to this more than anything. But to the streamer that's out there trying to, you know, they want to stream. That's their, you know, that's their dream. That's their goal, whatever. You know, everybody kind of does streaming for different reasons. You know, you kind of got to find your place, and you got to be able to find your niche. And you talked about finding a time, you know, for you it was a time slot, and you know that sometimes it is a character, sometimes it is, you know, a persona, it's, you know, it's a gimmick or whatever it is. Like to people that are wanting to stream, somebody that's interested in that, kind of talk about that, talk about the, you know, the grind and the struggle, because I've been there. I still am there a lot of times. You know, you stream, you start off streaming to nobody. You know, I used to have, I make fun of myself now. I used to have like 3 devices up with my stream on it just so I'd have people on the stream and the number wouldn't say 0. It'd say 3. Talk about that, like grinding through that and really kind of finding your niche.
Yeah. So, I mean, for a new person that's wanting to get into streaming, you just got to be prepared for moments like that. Honestly, I was the same way as you. To hit affiliate, I had my work phone, I had my daughter's phone, and I had another tablet or something just to hit affiliate.
Yeah.
And then that's the way it is, man. I mean, I would have my work phone beside me. There's sometimes where I would just say something in chat just in case if somebody rolled through, they would see a comment, and I'm literally talking to myself.
Right.
You know, there was a lot of streams like that. Honestly, there was nobody there, so the new streamer definitely has to be prepared for that. And you know, that's the times where you can't give up. You just got to keep pushing through it. And but the problem is you got to keep pushing through it, but you got to keep coming up with different ideas on how to, you know, generate some movement. So, like for me, if you're not on TikTok right now, you know, anybody that's trying to stream and you're not on TikTok, you're missing the boat by a wide margin. That's definitely the most powerful thing out there, clearly. And like for me, I don't know, it's like 28,000 followers on my account, my first account. But for some reason, it grown dead. It was dead as a doornail. I would post and get 300 views. And so I was like, you know what? I'm starting up another TikTok. I'm gonna start up another TikTok and go from there. And now that TikTok's grown. I think I'm around 35,000 followers on that one, and it's surpassed the other one. And I don't even really hardly use the other one anymore for anything.
Right.
So, and you know, you just got to be creative, you know, try different things, and whatever works. And I tell people all the time too, when you're on TikTok, to me, it doesn't matter what you choose. You don't have to post gaming clips. It could be whatever, like mine, you know, the little comedy stints or whatnot that I do, sports stuff, but stick with what you do. Don't post a gaming clip and then go post your girlfriend walking around Walmart and then go post you at a football game or something, because then TikTok's confused on what your content is and it's going to die out. So if there's anybody out there that's wanting to do it, just pick something. It doesn't matter what it is. Pick something, continuously post on it, and eventually you'll have some videos take off. You don't know when or which ones, but and then once you do it, man, you just keep going, just keep grinding it. And I mean, I've had some people tell me about YouTube before, because I post on YouTube Shorts and stuff like that. All my TikToks go on there, and I've had a couple say, "Hey, I saw you on YouTube and I came over." But most time, man, it's TikTok. And if you're not on TikTok, constantly grinding TikTok, then you're missing the boat by a huge margin.
I'm glad you said that, and I think that's an interesting conversation, especially for what we do, social media, you know, content creation. TikTok is the platform right now. I don't know if it'll always be like that. I know that there are some people that say it's got a year left, it's got 2 years left, but honestly, they've been saying that for about 2 years. So, it's still the platform to be a part of. Why do you, I mean, I don't know the answer. You may not know the answer, but like, in your opinion, what do you think that connection is to TikTok, and you know, why it's such a valuable tool in content creation?
Honestly, I don't really know a clear answer. I really don't know, but I just know it's very powerful. TikTok is very powerful. And You know, some people blow up faster than others. I get it. There's sometimes I look at people, I'm like, "Ah," you know, like they blow up quick or whatever or whatnot. But I honestly don't know. But I just know it's powerful, and I
Yeah.
know I'm going to ride it as long as I possibly can.
I think what you said about TikTok too is really important. And it's be consistent with what you post. And so
Mhm.
it doesn't, like, for you, honestly, if you go look at your TikTok, you don't ever post GTA clips.
Never.
I mean it's never, I mean, from anything I've ever seen has always been your, you know, your comedy clips, your sport satires, those kind of things. You're always
Mhm.
wearing your hoodie, and you know, and they're funny, they're hilarious, and you do a really great job with them.
Yeah.
But you don't, you know, you're not posting GTA stuff. You're not posting dances and that kind of stuff. And I think that's a really good tip that you brought up.
Yeah, yeah, no, I stay with what my content is. And I mean, I want to post GTA clips and stuff somewhere, but right now I don't think it's just the time to mess with anything. Um, because I've also even heard like if you have two TikTok accounts, you how you can kind of switch back and forth on your
Right.
phone from one account to the I've also heard that like TikTok has a way of kind of knowing that you're doing that, and they'll kind of suppress your videos and stuff. So I've wiped the other TikTok completely off my phone. I use that one. Um, so, but yeah, I'm not going to post any GTA clips or stuff like that on there, because I don't want to confuse the algorithm of my TikToks.
Sure.
Every time I post, I want it, it's going to go to the people that's interested and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, I thought maybe a little bit later on, maybe create another page and really just kind of working those two, and one of them being GTA. But I'm kind of honestly, I'm kind of scared because I don't want it to somehow connect each other and then TikTok maybe suppress it or something. So I'm staying away from it for now. But yeah, I don't post any GTA stuff, and it still drives people when I go on live, TikTok live. And I mean sometimes my TikTok lives will get 60,000 views, sometimes 30,000, and then sometimes 10,000 or less. It just kind of depends. However, it does really well for the most part. And regardless of what I post, my comedy stuff, it still drives people to my Twitch. And so I'm just gonna keep rolling with it.
How often, and there are different opinions about this. There are some people that say you have to follow a certain schedule, post at these times on these days. There's some people say it doesn't matter. You got to post so many times a day, so many times a week. You've seen a measure of success. I think, you know, for you, do you have a schedule that you follow, or you just kind of post whenever you want to?
Um, Kinda. I mean, the days doesn't matter to me. I try to post every day. I mean, here recently I haven't posted every day, because I've been a little bit slack, honestly myself. But I kind of, if you can post every single day, to me that doesn't matter. I could be totally wrong, but to me it doesn't matter. And my time frame, I try to go anywhere between 5 to 9, preferably around 7 o'clock that I
Okay.
post. You got East Coast time with people at home. You got West Coast time, maybe some people at work. That's kind of just bored scrolling. I don't never post real early in the morning because you got a lot of people in bed still or
Sure.
during school and all that stuff. So I definitely try to post in the evenings around that same time frame every single time, and that's really the only thing that I do. I used to post maybe one or two a day. Now most time, or not one or two, but two a day. But now most of the time it's one a day if I post. I may make 2 or 3 videos in the same day, but I'll just store them and I'll post them the next day and then the next day. I think one's plenty enough. But I mean, it's not gonna hurt if you do 2 or so. But for what I do, the comedy stuff, I think one's plenty.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Very good. Talk to me a little bit about the TARP stream team. Now, for some people, this seems to be like this elusive, this elusive thing to be a part of. You know, and for you and for me, we're a part of it. And so it's not real elusive, but I understand people that may want to stream, may want to stream TARP. Talk about what that is. Like, talk about like being a part of the stream team. You know, the camaraderie there, the support that happens inside of that. What, just kind of talk about what that's like for you.
Yeah. I mean, I know that I can go to any of you guys for any kind of advice or anything. So I love that part of it. No matter if it's about equipment or just any kind of, throwing ideas off each other. So you got that part there. And as far as being an actual streamer in TARP and stuff, I mean, I'm a little more on the wild side than some people, but you got to be sure to post, or to get good content out there and not get too crazy with it at times, too crazy. Even though sometimes I kind of walk that line a little bit, because I'm a little on the wild side of my streams. But it's good though. It's good. There's a lot of support amongst each other. A lot of good people over here,
Yeah.
and so I love it. And I mean, as y'all know, it's the only city I've ever been in, and so it's a lot of great people. And but yeah.
As far as streaming goes, it's one of the best. It's one of the best things I've ever been a part of, and I don't know that I realized that getting into it because I thought it's just another way to stream. But what you said, the camaraderie, the support, the hey, what do y'all know about this? What do y'all, and sometimes it's as simple as, I can't get my mic to work. Can somebody help me out? Sure. Yeah, let me jump in. Or what do y'all think about this equipment? Or I'm looking at, I need to upgrade something. What do y'all think? And you just give out that support. Even down to, yo, I'm about to go, I'm about to jump off. Anybody going live, I'll hit you with a raid. And so, you've got all of that level of support. That's, it's good. It's good to be on a team. It's better. We're better together than we are trying to do it by ourselves.
And that's another thing I should mention as well. When I first got into the city and all that, I thought I was just coming here to play a game. I thought I was coming here. I'm in the city. I'm playing a game and moving on. And I did that for months. But once I actually realized that you're getting into something much bigger than just playing a game, because I didn't know anything about Discord. I barely even knew how to open that app up and do anything in it.
Yeah, I get you.
And so once I actually started getting in the TARP Discord and stuff, I was like, whoa, this is much bigger than just a game. Like, you start getting family that you never knew you had. I mean, you really, and friends that you never knew you had. So that's what I tell people now that wants to join the city and stuff like that. I let them know, whenever I'm streaming, like, it's much more than a game. You're getting into something much more than a game, which is a good thing. I mean, it's a family atmosphere. You're going to meet a lot of good people, a lot of good friends that you never knew you had. And so once you do that, then your experience in the city, to me, just goes way up. Because I used to run around by myself, or like I said, with Oz or my nephew, and that was kind of it. I mean, I'd run into a few people here and there that we'd run with, but once I actually started interacting in Discord and started talking to people and stuff, then that's where it really ramped up. Because I've had people say, well, I don't really know anybody or something. I was like, you're not active in Discord either. I was like, get active in Discord and you're going to meet people and stuff. And you're going to meet the friend. And then next thing you know, you're playing together in city, and then boom, your experience level goes from here to here, and you're having a lot more fun.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. It is better in pairs or groups. Because I've been the guy that's rode around by myself before, and that's not fun at all. But when you can play with people and, do things together, not only do you get to do things you never thought of, because, for me, there's people that know ton more about the game play than I do, but it's more fun. You got somebody to interact with and do stuff with. So it's cool. It's good.
The people that I still run around with now, I 100% rely on them to tell me everything. I'm like, how do I do this? Tell me, like, what's going on? And a lot of times it's Bobby, and Bobby's over there telling me off because he's telling me how big of an idiot I am. But still.
Nice. And we always need a friend. I always need a friend that reminds us what level of idiot we are, and so that's a good friend right there.
And that's Bobby all day long. That is Bobby. He's going to tell you exactly what he's thinking right then and there.
That's awesome, man. Talk to me a little bit about TARP. So, you said this is the only city that you belonged in. You also mentioned you just got in to play the game, but you found something more. Why do you think that is? What makes TARP a special place? What makes it a destination, a connection point for a lot of people?
Honestly, I think it just comes down to the people in it. There's a lot of good people in it. I mean, and I really just think that's what it comes down to. You can go in gen chat and stuff like that, and there's not a lot of people arguing or anything like that. And if there is, it gets shut down quickly and gets out of there. But I think it more so just comes down to the people. There's a lot of good people in this city, and ultimately, I think that's just what it comes down to, really.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that starts from the top down. I think I think you've got good people at the top, that, that lead that. So, Officer Messer, uh, Officer Messer, Denny, Ryan, all the way down. I mean, all of those guys, I think, are a part of that. So it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love it. Like I said, I've never been anywhere else. I mean, I'll say it because it's not a big deal. It took me, let's see, I joined the city, I think in October of last year. And I wanted to be a cop because, I'm IRL and I knew that would be the easiest RP for me was a cop. And I didn't become a cop until April or May of this year. So I stuck it out for 6 months or so, and I had people I had several people try to recruit me to come play in whatever city they were in, and tell me, look, you can be a lieutenant, you can be a sergeant right away, blah 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 blah. And I turned them all down. It's just something about TARP that just kept me there. And
Right.
so like I said, I just think it came down to the people. It was just a bunch of good people and stuff.
Nice, man. No, I agree, and I think it is a special place. It's a special connection, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the opportunity. Thankful to be able to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely. All right. So give me some stories, man. Give me some. So you're riding around. You don't know what to do. Give me some funny stories. Tell me about some things that have cracked you up that you'll never forget. That when you're not paying attention to what people are saying, these are the stories that you're thinking about that are cracking you up. You got anything like that?
Oh, I mean, I do. There's a lot. Oh man, I wish I'd have thought about this beforehand because there's a lot of stories I have on there that just crack me up. Riding with Ricky. Riding with Ricky over summer, and so some of the stuff was just great. It was just great. I don't know what it is. Just I don't know when you're out with Ricky too, and and that's another thing. I will say that too. And Ricky, if Ricky's here, he wouldn't care if I said it. Is that when I first joined the city, like I said, I had no idea what to do. And with me having no idea what to do, we would go to Yellow Jack, and once we was at Yellow Jack, that's where Ricky hung out. That was his gang spot. That's where they hung out.
Right.
So me and my people had no idea what to do. And we would always get in shootouts with Ricky. and Ricky, like me and Ricky kind of like we legit butt heads to the point where it was like, let's just not RP with each other anymore. Like let's just don't. Let's just don't. So that's why it come full circle because now we're friends and like really good and stuff. And so there were some ride-alongs in the summer that me and him did. I actually have a couple clips of them. They were just hilarious. But I was in tears. One of those. One of those clips were last night on my stream. I was in tears. I almost fell out my chair. It was a little wild. I'll say that it was a little wild. But I was in tears whenever I was dealing with Bobby and Willow and stuff, and so it was great. But I could probably go over a couple if I actually thought about it and say yes, that time was awesome or something, and because there is several of them. There's been so many good times especially when you deal with like Hammer's characters. He's gonna have you in tears every time. Every time he's gonna have you in tears.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really know like pinpoint sometimes, but there's been a lot of good ones.
So one of my favorite moments, and I don't know if this is true for you, but I often have great moments happen when I'm not on the stream. If I'm just running around off stream, whatever, and one of those moments for me was, and at the time I didn't even know it, but was the time that I actually didn't arrest you. I had to transport you, and you were your pastor character.
Yep.
Do you remember that?
Yep.
And you've been being wild, and you got arrested, and I got called up with I think somebody, Jack Taylor, somebody like that, or Jack Thomas, excuse me, and we were transporting you down there, and that was a lot of fun. It was funny because you were playing a pastor. I thought you knew that I was a pastor, and that's where that whole thing came from. But that was just your character, and you were just being wild. It was one of my favorite moments. It was hilarious.
I had no idea that you were a pastor. That was Pastor Pat McAfee, and he was trying to make it to his church service that night, and Pat got a little wild, and he never made it to his service. And it's like, the preacher's going to jail. And
Yeah.
so, and yeah, he was upset about that night because, you know, he knew, no offer was coming in. And so that's money out of his pockets. And, but yeah, no, seriously, I had no idea
Yeah,
that
that's
you were
funny.
that. And so that made it even better because I don't know who it was. Somebody reached out to me the next day and was like, "Did you know that Guido was a pastor and stuff?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "I had no idea."
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah. So you didn't play that because you wouldn't play that character because I was like, I had no idea about that. I was like, my man was just trying to get to church that night so I could make some money. Okay.
No, it was great. I thought it was great. It was so funny. It was a lot of fun, and it's still one of my favorite clips that I ever posted.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to go back and see that. All right, let's do this. So we kind of get ready to close up. You streaming tonight? Are you going to jump on when we get done?
Yeah. I'll boot my stuff up and get ready to go once we get done.
I got you. Well, very cool. Well, I won't keep you much longer because I know you got the millions of fans that are waiting for Smitty to jump in. Leave us some final thoughts, man. What are you like for you? You know, overall, your experience in the city, streaming. You know, your community, like leading a community, like drop some knowledge on us, man. Share something great with us.
Well, I mean, my experience overall and everything. I mean, look, I love TARP. I've been here from the get go. I love Messer and stuff, and everybody else that's in it. I love what we stand for. Me being IRL cop, and just all the cops in here and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, it's just a great city. I love it. Love the people. Streaming wise, I honestly, I'm kind of shocked to see where I'm at right now. If you'd asked me this, especially this time last year, I'd be like, yeah, there's no way. But it's just crazy. And I think the bigger, as far as being a content creator in TARP, there's a lot of advantages right now because the bigger, it's just the nature of it when you're in stuff like this. The bigger Messer gets, the bigger I get, and the bigger whoever else gets, Hammer, Steven, Cuff them, everybody. It just helps each other out. I mean, it really does because as much as we raid each other or as much as everybody, I see all the time in my chat, like when I deal with somebody in the city, like, hey, does that person stream? Does that person stream? So,
Right.
I think now's a great time to be a content creator in TARP, honestly, because it's only going to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. E. Bush wanted me to ask you about your mod team and what your thoughts are about them.
They're okay. They kind of give me crap every single day in the mod and admin chat or channel in my Discord. No, they really are great. They do so much for me. Like, I mean, I couldn't run my Discord without them. 100%. I could not run it without them. I have over 1,000 members in there now, pushing 1,100. They do so much for me with everything, and with my emotes in Twitch and in Discord, with my channels in Discord, with modding my Discord. They do all that, so they're fantastic. The only slacker that I have is Josh Willard. He's definitely he's a slacker. And anytime he comes in there, he just wants to talk about Georgia. So as long as we, Willard, I don't know why. He got promoted to admin the other day, and I told Texas girl, she kind of runs my Discord, and I told her, I was like, no, demote him back to mod. He needs to earn it, and he had to tell me that the South Carolina Gamecocks were great or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So I made him kind of word it, and he did. He said, the South Carolina Gamecocks were legit, and so I made him work for it. And so, but no, seriously, everybody's great. They really are. They work so hard for me. My Twitch chat for the most part stays clean because of them. And then, like I said, my Discord stays clean. I mean, it does get kind of wild here and there, but it just comes with the growth. But they are fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome, man. All right, one final question. It may be the most important question. That thing that we've talked about so far is Rattler coming back next year, or are we losing him?
Everything that I've seen right now, Spencer Rattler's back.
Okay.
Spencer Rattler's coming back. That's the good thing about paying college athletes these days. I'm not big on that at all.
Right.
Like as far as especially the money they make, here's where it helps you out, because if Rattler leaves and he's a third, fourth, or fifth round draft pick, you're making good money. Yeah, it's good money to the normal person, but NFL wise or whatever, it's not great, so to speak. So he'll make a lot more money if he comes back to college next year rather than going to be a third, fourth round draft pick in the NFL.
Yeah.
So that's where it helps us out at. So Spencer Rattler's coming back. We got to get this offense coordinator hire right. And the name that I keep hearing from last night, I hope it's not true, because it might be worse than Marcus Satterfield was. But we got to get the offense coordinator right. Spencer Rattler seems like he's coming back along with Jordan Birch and Marshawn Lloyd. We've got a bunch of good guys. Juice Wells, I'm hoping is back. And so we'll see. We'll see. You know, we gotta make a run next year and win at least 10 games. Continue to beat Clemson and go from there.
I agree. I like it. I agree 100%. Hey, where can people find you at, man? If for some reason somebody wandered over here and they're not familiar with your channel, where can they find you at?
I mean, I'm basically Deputy Smitty on everything. TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, anything on Deputy Smitty. If you go to TikTok, my link tree is right there and it's got everything. Well, Instagram's got my link tree and everything. So I'm basically Deputy Smitty on everything. Like I said, link trees and TikTok and Instagram would be probably the easiest to find it. But there I am.
And if for some reason you don't follow him, make sure you do that. Make sure you go follow him over on all the platforms. Hit him on all of them and show him a little bit of love. He's shown us some love. Smitty, thank you so much for joining me, brother. I appreciate you, man. It's been a blast.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, brother.
It's not very often that I get a fellow Gamecock fan on here, so I almost don't want to let you go.
Yeah, you know, I had to wear it. I had to wear it.
Yeah. I specifically chose my outfit for you, and so I had to be ready for you.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, you know, not many teams this year had 2 top 10 wins this year. I think it was us and Michigan's the only one. So we're up there.
Yes,
and it
sir.
wasn't wins. We dominated. Even though we beat Clemson by 1 point, we dominated that game because we beat ourselves, we beat Clemson, and we beat the referees that game. So we dominated. We dominated.
That's so true. Smitty, much love, brother. Thank you so much for jumping in here, man. And I look forward to seeing you in the city, bud.
All right. I appreciate you.
All right. Have a good one, man.
All right. You too.